Welcome back, friends and family. Today is something totally different. Dice Magazine, issue number 3. And before we really got started in this, I just want to say I used to own number 1 and number 2 because I stole them from a buddy of mine. And now you're gonna say, why you steal from your buddy? He owed me money, but if I see for how much the number 2 runs right now on eBay, I kind of feel lame. I really feel lame for like returning those magazines to him because at the time they weren't worth that much. I was just always bummed because I never owned that. The first one that I bought was this, and I bought it at the garage company on Washington when West LA still was cool and West LA still was West LA across from the Foster's Freeze. And it really bothered me because I subscribed to them for a couple of years and I never, like, that was before I was hard on eBay and stuff like this. I never owned issue number 1 and 2. And then I had them. They aren't that special, I can tell you that. And then of course I returned them once he paid me the money back. So just like my 2 cents on that. I hope you don't mind, and I don't. Yeah, who cares? So let's get this started, I guess. On the cover, I really gonna hashtag Scott Craig because I think at the time he brought that whole, that whole chopper scene really back. I believe. I don't know. I used to work at Scratch in Sun Valley, and Scott Craig and Nicotine, the guy who had the golden shower from the pedestrian killers, I think. They shared the shop at the end of that shop lot thing, whatever it's called. And I was just like a little kid, and I always saw like Scott Craig like painting the nuts white, and I was thinking, wow, wow, that is so cool, and I just loved that style. And he had that old Ed Roth water slide decal on the oil tank, and I just thought that's the coolest thing on this planet. I went home, I had a little bicycle that I stole off of a homeless guy. Don't hate on me. Now homeless people steal your bikes. I actually stole a bike of a homeless guy. And yeah, sorry. And I went home, I took some rattle can and I painted like kind of his style on my bicycle, and I always thought maybe Scott Craig's gonna see it and maybe Scott Craig's gonna like it. But in the end, I think this guy Nicotine and Scott Craig, they went in a fight or something, and then Scott Craig of course started somewhere else or did this Bronson thing or wherever. So here, if you wanna pause this and read through it. I just always loved that late 90s, early 2000s, like Rosenblatt, man, Brian Bass, out of Texas. See, this was awesome, so clean and so 60s, just simple, clean, nice, with some metal flake paint. I love this guy, by the way. Awesome hot rod guy, awesome fabricator. Just heads off. He's like a really cool guy. I never met him, but he seems to be cool. He likes cool stuff. Nice bike. Yeah, see, I don't. So, okay, another little disclaimer on the side. I'm not the biggest motorcycle guy, so if I get something wrong, I know this is like a Triumph, like a unit, and there's a pre-unit, and I know what I don't know, like a flathead Harley, or like a knucklehead looks like. But like then I don't know all the frames, all the gas tanks. I don't know. Okay, so please don't hate on me. But I have to say, if you look at the stuff that you see nowadays, those bikes, they go too far out, I think. and they all kind of look the same, you know. It's always the same paint, that endless line. The A-bombers in Sweden. I think this is the Joker car, huh? From the Jokers. I love that club. Out of Sweden. The Jokers. So cool. There's just something about the late 90s, or in general, like 90s red rods, like the shifters, all the first Viva Las Vegas shows and all that. The cars, they still had some magic to them. And then the whole like red rod thing started, and then it just, I don't know, it just became lame. So there you have your Mopar. I don't know what it is because I was never reading magazines, I guess. But I'm sure it's like a 383 or 440. Yeah, it's a 383. I like those engines. There's him. There's a dog. The dog looks kinda scared. Now look at this. This looks so like it would be somewhere in Japan. That looks cool. I don't know if that's painted or if it's a decal. It looks like I've seen that before. It looks like a decal, but who knows? Sorry if you hear background noises, because in the background you probably hear my laundry machine. And again, sorry, I'm gonna pause this real quick because I forgot to plug my charger in. So it's gonna be a little shaky. Since all my videos are one takes or whatever. Sorry, I don't cut my videos and like make them all nice and whatever. Yeah, this thing looks super nice. This wall looks nice too. There we have Circle City Hot Rods. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't want to be. So this is the early 2000s. And I went to Circle City Hot Rods and they had the coolest decal. They had like those 70s style, like those metallic looking decals. And I just loved it. And I loved what they did and everything. And Barry White, I think is his name. He seemed to be a cool guy, and we went to lunch and he was just going off. I don't know if he wants to hear that or not. If you watch that, don't, like, you probably forgot who I am, but dude, his co-worker, the guy that worked there, he was a good guy, I think, but he was like totally like early 2000, like had the whole the Hot Topic gear on, and he was like the first of the metrosexuals, and I never had heard that name before, that word metrosexual, but like he talked about that at lunch, and then we went back to the shop and I could see it, you know, the skinny jeans, everything. That's horrible. Sorry, I just keep on going. Great Britain. I always liked this thing. I always loved this. And I can see what's under that car because I think before I never read the story. Here, you can read the story. But it looks like it was like some weird 80s tea bucket and the guy just made it cool. With painting it, the interior is awesome. This, man, look at this. It looks so cool. I always wished that he would build like a custom like grill shell, you know, so it's more like a 60s show rod or something, because overall this thing is super cool. And I don't know if it still makes sense to buy like an older street rod Model T or whatever and just like turn it into something like this, because I love tea buckets and it just looks cool. I don't know if that's a Rover V8 or if that's a nailhead. It could be both, Who knows? Opel Manta Red motor. California, I ain't. Yeah. It's totally bizarre to me. Like, this stuff was like my Bible. I would go home and I would just study that stuff after school, and I don't know, there was so much beauty in those photos, you know, just those couple of shots they featured in like the Rose and Bleeds magazines, and in those. Now you remember they always had that weird doctor article in the last pages or whatever. Maybe not then, maybe later, but I love those Dr. Glory or whatever. So here we are at Scott Craig. I don't know if the paint, oh my god, the paint peeled off. Wow, I've never seen that. I know that he repainted it at some point. And I think when I was there, he repainted it. Or had it already repainted maybe. Or maybe it was a different color. But actually, I think I read somewhere that that gas tank later ended up on a whole different bicycle. So there we have Scott Craig. I think this is Barry White from Circle City. And this is Andy Jensen. Andy, if you see that and I mention your name, hey, please don't hate me. I just like, you know, I just want to like show people how cool you guys were. You were all my heroes. So cool. Here you have the whole story. Oh yeah, Chopper Custom Cycles, and I think later he did the Bronson Chopper or whatever. I don't know. So I don't know if you paused it or not. I love that bike. It was so cool. And he also built another one that was gold with green panels, and that went to the guy who has that Lone Star around. Oh, I don't know, like some saloon somewhere in Texas. He also has that golden von Franco Model T. This thing is just pure beauty. See, this always fascinated me. Always fascinated me. I wonder who did the pinstriping, if it was Scratch, because Scratch actually just was a couple of shops, like 3 or 4 shops down from his shop in Sun Valley. And I was just a kid hanging out, and I loved that scene up there. It was so cool. I'm so glad I lived through that. Okay, there we have the Paris show. Aren't the cheetahs from Vienna or something? Who is Kenneth Howard? You all know that guy, I guess. I don't know if it's in one of those magazines or where it is, but there was like a custom culture show in London in the early 2000s as well, and there was this beautiful Rivera, and there were like just those awesome cars, and I always wondered, wow, they are really in London. But I guess it's all thanks to what's his name? This guy who was doing it. You know, the one guy died and the other guy was pretty cool. I don't know. So I think Matt Davis died. If you see that and you're still alive, sorry. The other guy, I don't know. So Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more, I have every Dice magazine from issue 3 till like 40 something. So if this is more interesting for you than car magazines, or you want to see both and hear my 2 cents about every bullshit, then why don't you want to subscribe or hit the like button? And yeah, if you say I'm a vulture culture, I gonna report you because I'm a little bitch. Okay? So have a nice day and see you hopefully in the next video. And why don't you want to subscribe to me? Is it that your friends maybe talk bad about me or whatever? You know what? There are always two stories, or like 2 parts to every story. So why don't you want to listen to me more and hear me out on some things, okay? Have a nice evening, a nice day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe I just gonna do another one. Maybe I gonna do issue 4 as another video. And maybe we do one of those every week now. Till the rest of the year, maybe. Goodbye.